Welcome back to the Die Again podcast, the last audio blog on Arcturus. It's a tabletop role-playing game podcast. I'm your game master, Josiah, and with me as always is our player,
William.
And last we left, you coerced a confession out of someone who tried to kill you.
I felt like it was just...
I didn't say it wasn't.
I know, but...
We're both Americans. We're behind enhanced interrogation, right?
Yeah, it gets good results. There's no problems. There's no studies that say otherwise.
You thought this was Ikron Space Station, but actually it's Guantanamo Space Station. Alright, so you've strapped your armor on, you've sent that guy, all of these guys off, and you've radioed in that they need to be looking for Hadden Stanton.
Right.
Because that's the one who supposedly, according to the guy you coerced this information out of, did the hit on Driscoll Akley.
Am I familiar with Hadden? Is that a name that I would recognize?
Probably not, but I'll give you a reasoning street talk to try and remember that. It's just going to be a very unlikely thing.
Okay. It's a +6, so let's see. 14?
You think you may have heard he has mob ties, but it's not like of course, he's
Right.
So.
Okay. Well, that's good to know regardless, because it would have been interesting if this was like, oh no, he's so well known.
Yeah.
How could it not be? But okay, so is Vodvern still with us? Because he wants police protection, but has he already left?
I'd say, given where we left off, he's still there if you need a couple more questions out of him.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and get up, feel where I got shot. Like, this is not fantastic. It's gonna take weeks for my exoskeleton to rebuild around this. And then I go up to him, and my main goal with this is I want to ask him if he knew what kind of disguise Lisa Green was going for specifically, and if not, where he pointed her to get her disguise.
I don't think there's any role required for this because you already saved his life. So he doesn't know what the disguise was specifically, but he knows where he sent her to get it.
So then I say to Valvern, I'd really appreciate that. And after this, we'll go to Mix.
He goes, yeah, I need a drink. And then, he walks off with some of the guys you called in to escort him. And are you heading to the location or are you sending someone else?
Give me one moment. So my two guys, so Ricky should still be looking into Lisa Green, if I remember correctly. And what was the name of the other guy? Amos should still be at the police station. I don't think I'd sent him to do anything else.
Right, you just had them both there, so.
I want to get in touch with Ricky.
Okay, so run me down what you had already learned about Lisa Green, because I believe you did talk to Ricky about, like, you had someone look into Lisa Green a little bit already.
So I found out that Lisa Green was the one having an affair with Akley. She has ties to the mob, that she is a well-known Black Widow, but she hasn't really done anything in 5 years. But I don't know of any other connections with the Akley family. I know her and Catherine do not get along, and I know that Delton hasn't specifically told me any relationship he has with her, but he well knows who she is within the mob, and obviously, as you put it, that she fucks his dad. So
yeah, okay.
That's what I know.
So you're gonna contact Ricky, see what else he's learned?
Yeah, I want to see what else he's learned, and then I might want to give him some information if we don't have something on her yet.
I'm going to call this bureaucracy reasoning, because the remaining information is going to depend on whether or not he can use his clearance levels effectively.
Okay, so then that'll be a +5 to my roll. 13?
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, no, 12.
12. Same difference. I do my difficulties in increments of 2. So, all right. So you call Ricky, ask what he's found, and he forwards you some video that he's highlighted. He was accessing recent movements of Lisa Green that they've been able to catch on city cameras. And one of those, you see Lisa Green talking to Coney.
Coney is the guy that works with the miners union. How long ago was that?
It's timestamped as 2 weeks ago.
Okay. And Coney's the bug guy, right?
Yes. Same species as you.
So, well, that's new information. So let's see here. I think I would want him then to follow up with, do I already have the information for where she went to get her wig?
You know where, yeah. And you're running pretty short on time at this point. I'm going to say you're not going to have enough time for any other, record lookups to be effective.
Do I have enough time to send both of my guys to do different things and them complete it, or?
Depends on what the things are.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, you'll be able to estimate fairly effectively. So if you tell me what you're thinking, I can tell you whether or not it would be reasonable to expect it.
Okay. I think I'm going to want to have, I suppose, Ricky look into Hadden Stanton, and find out where he's at.
So just pull up his current residency stuff. I'd say, given what you've already told, because you basically informed everybody at this point about what you found out, they've already sent people over to his place because they're already looking to bring him in.
Okay, so then there's no point in sending my guy specifically for that.
Yeah. As far as finding Stanton specifically or bringing him in, police force is already on that, essentially, because since he's considered to be suspected of violent crime, they're going to send in a tactical team for this.
Okay, would it be possible to go through Lisa's account record to find out potentially who wired her money?
Not in the time frame you have, because you would need something like a warrant to be able to do that.
Okay. Do I have enough time to go back to the station and talk with the boy? What's his name?
Dalton?
Yeah.
Could do that. Since you have someone there, if you want them to just put the radio there for you and try and do it over radio, I'll say it's more difficult to do that, but you can try that to try and save time.
What my character is suspecting now is that either Delton or, well, really it's just Delton at this point that he's thinking would want to potentially make it look like his mom, quote unquote, essentially let Hadden get close enough to Archon and allowed the killing to happen.
Yeah, that's a reasonable idea, because then Dalton gets all the inheritance and cuts Catherine out.
And as he's said already, because of the amount of money he owes to the mob, that it's in the mob's best interest to keep him alive and make sure this happens. So that's what I'm thinking. My character could be totally wrong, but I would need Delton to say that to prove that this is his involvement within it.
So, are you thinking you're going to send Amos or Ricky out to check the disguise place? Or both of them, just in case there's a fight?
Let's send both of them. That actually sounds like a really good idea. I would tell them, go to the disguise place, give them Lisa's information to confirm that she was there to actually do this, have a photo of Catherine to say if the disguise was specifically to look like her. And I those would be the two main things to be able to prove that this is what this disguise was for.
They're going to do that. You'll head back to the station to further interrogate Dalton. Make I'm going to call it astropiloting fitness to just see how quick you can get back to the station.
So is there going to be a negative to this?
Yeah, actually, there's negative for whatever your wound level is.
2. So total -3.
Plus 0.
So in case this goes really bad, I'm glad that I told everybody pretty much everything.
Well-known police detective Corva dies in 5-car pileup.
So I rolled an 8 and plus nothing, so.
An 8. So you make average time. You hit a couple of lights, and then you have to, turn on your system to get through them faster. But
okay,
you get there. Your boss is sort of in the front, stonewalling the law.
He's not doing the movement back and forth like a crab rib. He's just doing it. Yeah.
He doesn't have to. He's got presence, the social presence to just stonewall this guy. And I assume you just sort of breeze past.
Yeah.
Well, sir, you have to understand. We have some procedures to follow, and that's your boss's PR voice.
Okay, good. That's fantastic. The idea of this centaur pig thing just being just giving him the business of this is the rules and I cannot do this and this is why you can't come in. Okay, so continue.
All right, so you get back to Dalton. He's more antsy now because, again, he hasn't had a hit this whole time, and this is someone who's developed a level of dependency that only the rich could develop. He sees you and he says, "Hey, bug fucker."
Okay.
Let me out already.
Well, we're not ready for that quite yet. I need to talk with you. So, yeah, calm down over there. So, your mob friends caused this, and I show my bandage under my armor. Be like, so now I got a problem with your friends, as you have told me repeatedly that they owe you, you owe them, whatever bullshit that you want to go with?
He sort of he has that thing where his arms are sort of through the bars, and he just sort of puts them up, palm up, and he's like, I already told you, I'm not the one who calls the shots. Go ahead and make an awareness, let's call this awareness investigation for this, and you don't have any penalties for this.
Thank goodness. Okay, +7? Yeah, wow, that's huge.
It's your best arrangement of things.
14 total?
So he seems to believes what he's saying, basically.
Okay. I'm glad that finally getting him this far attached from his rainbow of drug addictions has gotten some truth. Okay, so then I'm going to tell him that why not?
I'd also like you to make a plain awareness check here.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a flat 10.
Okay, that's enough here because you've worked narcotics long enough that you can tell if he doesn't get something within the next hour or so, he's going to have some pretty bad withdrawals, and those will actually have medical consequences.
Does he know this?
You can't tell. He probably feels like shit, but whether or not he understands the severity of it. Legally, you're supposed to pass him over to the department's medical team now that you've seen that.
Okay, so I'm going to say to him, look, I've dealt with a lot of people that have dove into the kind of substance abuse that you're proudly displaying, and you're not doing so hot right now. And I want to help you out, but I need you to work with me. Why not keep your inheritance, because you're going to get that no matter what if you're innocent, and get the mob off your back because they're going to get into some serious trouble about what's happened with your dad.
I'm going to call this a influence interrogation.
Can I Naruto talk no jutsu him?
That is basically what all RPG detectives do.
I'm sorry, I totally blanked. What did I need to roll again?
Influence interrogation, so +4.
That's an 8 total.
And you have
2 XP.
I'll let you, if you spend all that, add a dice.
Okay, let's do it.
Not quite the number you would need, but I'll say it's good enough.
So plus another 4, so 12.
Okay, 12. So having kept him away from his drugs to where he's about to basically have a fit, and having kept him away from his expected lawyer and all these things, finally sort of cracks and goes like, I don't know that much. I know that bug guy came in a couple times, talked to some of the guys. I didn't put a hit out on my dad. He was an asshole, but as long as he was running the company, it was making money, which meant I was getting money. I didn't want him dead.
Very interesting. Okay. So I look out the door and...
It seems genuine to you.
Okay. So then with that, I look out the door, whatever is there, and I go, hey, medical team, we need you in here ASAP.
All right, so you radio that in, and they start coming in. They get him on a stretcher and cart him out.
Okay. Has enough time passed for my 2 assistants talking with the disguise place?
You can radio in and see where they're at with it.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and radio in.
All right, I'm going to call this an influence street talk check on their behalf.
Okay, so total +4. No, that's a 6. I rolled 2 ones.
All right, so you radio in. Which one do you try and radio in?
Ricky's the one I've talked to the most, so I think I would have called in Ricky.
All right, let me...
I think he's the one that I gave the high praise on the last episode for doing his job.
Yeah, so you radio into Ricky. It says, oh, whoever this guy was, he must have known something because we had another hit team come in. Amos is in the ICU.
Dang.
Contact's fucking dead.
Okay. Well, hopefully Amos pulls through, Ricky. I'm going to need you to hunt down Coney and see if we can track him down. And I'm going to meet you. Presumably the last place we knew where he was at would have been the hotel. Actually, is there a way I can verify if he's still there?
You could call the hotel.
Yeah, but last time they were not helpful at all. They were very...
Yeah.
We're not giving out any information without something.
The other option is... you don't really have probable cause or anything here. Or not probable cause, but you don't have enough that you could easily pull live camera feeds. So I don't see too many options other than you can just radio out and try and get everybody to have their eyes open for this guy.
If I talk with the police chief and I present him with everything I got, which I've already partially done, and then now we even have the son who we intentionally strung out to the point where he is telling the truth and not holding back, would that be enough persuasion to get that level of Internet of Things surveillance?
It might be. So are you gonna because if you pull your boss aside to talk to him, the lawyer is probably gonna steamroll his way through whoever else. But at this point, if you're done with Dalton, you can...
Dalton's now being taken care of by the medic team. He's probably being sent to a hospital. So what's the lawyer going to do at this point? And I don't care about that. Like, if we get in trouble in the future, whatever. Right now, it's about things done.
All right, so you tell Ricky to go to the hotel to try and see if Coney's there?
Yeah, not engage with him, but if he can get eyes on him, get eyes on him.
Yeah, just try and get visual. Okay, you do that, you fast walk out of the cell block and pull your boss aside and sort of wave the lawyer on, and you just tell him, like, hey, he's with the medical team. He goes, what have you found, Corva? Tell me we've got something here.
Okay, so I explained to him how, one, we got the information out of the boy about who would initiate this to begin with and say that it's Corva. Coney. Sorry,
Coney.
It's Coney. Corva's me. So Coney's the one that wanted to be able to control the narrative of how business was ran, and Delton was okay with letting certain amounts of it happen because it just meant that he still got money. But anyways, regardless of that, we know that Lisa, who has talked with Coney, was in a relationship of some sort with the head Akley. She's a known assassin, as you well know. She hasn't really done anything in 5 years, but clearly she's respawned. I have one of my friends that often does work with us for narcotics. He explained that a couple nights ago, she approached him about getting a disguise. He didn't know what kind of disguise it was, but he gave me the information for where this is. One of my boys just radioed back to me saying that it got hit by the mob. Contact for that place is dead. One of our other guys is in the hospital now too. Literally a couple hours ago, talking to this guy, the narcotics guy, we almost got a hit and run as well. But obviously I survived, he survived. So I believe that we have enough information to show that we at the very least need to bring in Coney into questioning, because he's the one to gain the most from this, being able to control the laws that go for the miners union and all that.
All right, I'm going to call this influence bureaucracy, and you can take I'll just apply a bonus to your target here because you've been doing all this investigating.
That is a 10 plus, I think it's 4 bureaucracy, you said, right?
Yeah, so +3.
So 13 total.
All right, I'm going to scramble everyone. We're going to get Hadden Stanton in. We're going to get Lisa Green in, and we're going to get this Coney guy in. And he starts shouting out orders. Make a awareness check as he's doing this.
11 total.
Because I assume you're going for the cameras at this point, basically.
The cameras? Oh.
The monitors,
Yes.
As you're going that way, you overhear one of your dispatchers, body identified as Lisa Green, 3 dead, firebombing. It lists off like an intersection.
I think to myself, shit, they're literally killing everybody that would know anything. Is my boss still there? Can I yell Lisa Green is now down?
You can basically tell him. Yeah.
Okay.
He goes, fuck. And then goes back to yelling orders.
Okay. So then I'm going to continue to the cameras then.
Who are you going to look for now? Coney?
Can I radio in really quick with...
You would know Ricky hasn't had time to get there because you know how long it takes to get there. So.
Okay. Coney then, yeah. I'd be looking for him.
Make a reasoning investigation check here.
+7. 13.
Face scan technology doesn't work as well on your species yet, but you find that it looks like he's at one of the commercial sort of spaceport sections. This is where you would, like, if you want to get on a ship with a bunch of other people to get off station.
Like he's already on it, like ready to go, or
like he's in like a waiting area.
How far away is that from where I'm at?
Not too far, probably a 15-minute.
Then would it be faster potentially going through the open space?
It's the same
section?
level as you, so you can just go there.
Okay, then I'm going to speed over there as fast as I can.
You're going to radio in with Ricky?
I'm going to radio in with Ricky. I'm going to make sure that the rest of the station knows the guy we're looking for, where he's at.
You can see some other people are scrambling in tactical gear to get Stanton.
Okay, at least know where he's at and getting ready to do that, or?
It looks like they're getting in the vehicle now, so.
Okay, then I'm going to speed away to get to Coney then.
Make a fitness check as you get out of your vehicle to run, and this will also go for Ricky. Actually, I'll have you make 2, because 1 for you and 1 for Ricky.
Okay, so this is going to be for me with the -2, so just a +1.
Yeah.
Okay. 7 for me.
And then make it without the negative for Ricky.
Ricky got a 6 +3, so 9.
Okay, so Ricky pulls ahead of you just enough and tackles Coney to the ground as he's about to board his ship.
Nice.
Says, you're under arrest under suspicion of conspiracy to murder.
Nice.
And everyone's very shocked as your wounded, bedraggled, armored self walks in.
Thank goodness we got some young blood here, because it's been a day.
Yeah. Coney sort of recognizes you and goes, "You're going to help these humans?"
I help the law. Dun, dun, dun.
"I am the law." So you cuff his forearms.
And I say, you seem nice, but after learning some details, I've decided to revisit this conclusion about you. And here we are.
And he looks at you in a way that nobody else can tell, but you know is disgust.
Yeah.
All the humans are like, "Man, these insects have no expressions at all."
And meanwhile, I get like a novel of like emotions.
Yeah, you get War and Peace in his face.
Okay. So I radio in, "God, Coney."
"Bring him in." I assume you just cart him back to the station and throw him in a cell.
Yeah.
I think Ricky's just sticking by. You can tell he's still very much, still kind of riding that adrenaline from getting shot at.
He's definitely my new partner. And
Yeah.
I just straight up tell him, if you got a bullet with your name on it, don't advertise that, because whenever any of the other ones have, they died. So keep that to yourself.
Yes, I don't believe in superstition. I believe in results.
Thank God.
Yes, no, thank me.
Okay.
All right, so you're going to interrogate Coney?
Is there any news about the other guy, Hadden?
Stanton? Not yet.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm gonna interrogate Coney.
This time, probably bring him into a proper interrogation room instead of just interrogating him through the cell bars. Ricky's going to stay behind the glass.
Okay.
And so it's gone back to sort of, to the humans, it's always an impassive face, but he's gone back to pretending to be that for you. So what is it that you think I've done, Corva?
So your boy Delton spilled on you.
Oh, well, I could hardly say Dalton is my boy, and frankly, he's so strung out, I can't imagine any court would take his testimony to mean anything.
Yeah, except a lot of people have been dying that we have connected to this case. So there's some weight to what he says regardless.
Make a awareness investigation check as you're doing this, and I'll give you a +1 because of your shared species.
Okay, so then that's a total of +8. And then I get 2 ones, watch. Okay, so with a +8, that's a 14 total.
You can tell that right now he's sort of deflecting, and you're picking up that this is, now that you've talked to him a second time, you're seeing that this is kind of what he was trying to pull on you before. That rather than saying something outright false, he'll just say something else that's true, that's not actually answering the question.
So then I'm going to continue on and say, you've spent a lot of time being really close to the Akley family, being close to them, presumably to make sure that you continue to get business and continue to be the head of the miners union and all of that. And you've made sure that you've gotten to know Akley's wife, his mistress. You've even tried to steer Dalton in the way that you felt was appropriate. You've been there for a very long time.
Well, I think anyone that has to perform these sorts of high-level negotiations knows the benefit of familiarizing yourself with your contact.
Yeah, but it's quite a different story when you have Lisa acquire a disguise to look a lot like his wife, to then take the man that we're currently hunting down, Hadden Stanton, to be able to get him through all the security, everything that would have protected Akley from an assassination. And, we have multiple points of interest that point that is the case, and we also have a point that shows that you were the one that had done it.
Make a awareness investigation check.
Just the +7 or with the additional?
The bonus.
Okay, so +8. There we go. 19.
You pick up, his mask is pretty solid, but when you say that Lisa Green dressed up as Catherine, you get a point of surprise and frustration.
He's like, where did he get that?
Because I have no reason to apparently attempt to frame Catherine for anything. I simply think you're low on evidence and you have my sympathy, but hearsay does not an arrest make.
Well, there's still time for evidence to come in as this goes forward, because now we got you, And Delton is definitely saying that you're a big part of why this all happened.
Make an interrogation influence check here.
With any pluses or just the...
No pluses, no minuses, just...
Okay, so +4. 15.
So a bit of irritation across his face. Dalton, if I may be quite frank, is a worthless piece of trash, and his words should be treated as such.
Well, they're not being treated as such, so...
And you can see his chitin is flexing around the shoulders in a move that you know is immense frustration restrained.
And don't worry about with the court proceedings and all that, about it being too biased towards the humans. We'll make sure to get our species interpreter that is well versed in how we do things to make sure that the people fully understand what just happened there.
Very well. If you're determined to see this through, I suppose I'd like to speak with my lawyer.
If you say so.
And I assume you walk out at that point, leaving him cuffed to the table for now.
Yeah.
Ricky's sort of pacing. He says, sounds like they're bringing Stanton in.
Good.
We get these bastards, right?
We got them.
And he just sort of nods and keeps pacing. A little more time goes by. Stanton is brought to an interrogation room for you. He's a burly human with a thick beard and a mop of hair.
Okay.
He's got some wounds that are patched the same way yours are.
Okay. So I walk in and I say, it looks like you had a rough day.
Oh man, what gave it away is I got bags under my eyes, you fucking tool.
Hey man, I mean, me too. I show him and then one of your boys did this one to me and it was not pleasant.
Oh, I guess I expect my boys to aim a little better so I wouldn't have to fucking talk to you.
Well, here we are. We can't always rely on our boys to do what we expect.
Guess not.
All right, so Mr. Stanton, we can do this the hard way or the also still hard way. Why'd you do it?
Make an interrogation influence check. I'm giving you a lower difficulty because he's injured.
Okay, so +4. Wow. Natural 2 6s, so 16 total.
All right, so it's basically a crit here. So also you don't have to make any other rolls for this guy. You break Hadden Stanton.
Wow, it was that easy.
More accurately, probably, your guys gave him a rough ride over and broke him for you. But because I got fucking paid. Same reason I do it every time I do it.
Okay, so was it you with Lisa Green and she was disguised while at the Akley residence?
Yeah, I walked in, shot him, walked out. Easy.
Okay.
Dipshit didn't change his fucking codes to not let this woman, everyone knows what she does. And this retard lets her in.
For a while, too, which is insane, right? Talking to the DM now. I mean, they've been together for doing their thing for
a few years.
Dang.
Or not her a few years. For her, I think it's only a few months.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was like,
I was thinking of the other one.
Catherine, they've been together. Yeah. They've been married for a few years. His mistress, Lisa Green, it's been a couple months.
Lisa's been a few months.
Okay, so then now that we're on the topic of Lisa Green, the mob killed her. She's dead. We went down to track her down and she's gone.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm talking to you. They're tying up all the loose ends, and I was looking loose, I guess. So I might as well be loose. Fuck it.
Okay.
Fuck them.
Yeah, 2 natural 6s do that to you.
You bug people in your 6s. I don't get it.
It's acquired taste. Do you know that Coney was the one behind all this?
Yeah, I met the old freaky guy. He doesn't like humans much.
I've noticed. Here's the thing. I'm going to need you to talk about this. I'm going to need you to be a witness to what happened here. And we'll do our best to try to loosen your senses as much as possible. But honestly, no promises. You did kill a man. And you got this rap sheet that I'm looking at right now. But you'll be protected from the mob.
Yes. Yeah, I want maximum security. I don't none of this penny ante shit.
Okay.
And so you continue talking to him. You get sort of the rest of the motives that as he knows them. So Lisa was just supposed to be the person to get them in, but she doesn't like Catherine, so that's why she decided to do that disguise.
Okay.
So that was all her. Coney wanted Driscoll out of the way so that the rival company, Archon, which is primarily non-human, would get the contracts, and he could be negotiating with them instead.
Okay.
And that's basically the things you didn't know.
Okay. There was... somebody had said something, I don't remember exactly who, about how wanting to make sure somebody took the fall. Someone took the blame. So then I assumed that ultimately became Catherine.
Yeah, the aim, Lisa basically wanted to pin the blame for this on Catherine.
Okay.
Basically, you've done your part as a detective. You've pulled as much information as you can. You've got a key witness here and a stack of dead bodies. Your boss basically pulls you off shift and sends Ricky with you. And Ricky's going to also get his first training later on how to deal with your partner being near dead. I forget what they call it, but basically your stress lectures.
Okay, so that's it then?
Yep. as far as you're concerned, your off shift seems like everything's tied up in a nice bow for you. You can take your boy to Mix.
I think so. I think I'm gonna tell Ricky this is what we do after a good day of work.
Fuck me, this is a good day, huh? You guys throw your stuff in your lockers and head over to Mix.
Yeah.
Vodvern is not there, but he's also not dead. So take that as a good sign as you clink your hot coffee against Ricky's cold beer and take a drink.
And make sure to look over at Mick and say, we did good today.
You always do, Corvo. He looks at a sheet of paper. Corva, I mean, moves along. And that's where we'll end it.
Okay, and the two boys drink. Well, one does the actual alcohol, the other one coffee, and he contemplates where this one was grown from.
Hi, I'm Jenna with the International Space News Network. We just got word that everyone involved in the killing of Mr. Akley has been captured and brought into custody. We are here at Mike's, a local, shall we call it, colorful bar. We are told that this is where the detective who closed the case, Corva, often comes. Let's go ahead and see if we can find him. There he is, drinking some coffee with one of his cop friends. Let's make our way over there. A man with a very nice suit just approached him.
Excuse me, out of my way. Detective Corva, I am Delta Kelly's attorney. I am appalled by your egregious conduct. Hospitalizing my client by exploiting his drug addiction to extract information is beyond reprehensible. I am well aware of the abhorrent manner in which you treated another gentleman earlier today. Not only did you sever his hand, but you also coerced a confession by inflicting further pain on his injury. Your actions are a gross violation of the principles you are sworn to uphold. Rest assured, I will see to it that you are held accountable for your so-called protect and serve.
Now you listen here, you fancy, smanchy lawyer. I don't care who you work for. Delton owes me his life. I saved him from a gruesome death by the hands of the mob, who you more than likely work for. I'm going to continue drinking my coffee and enjoying my night. How about you just bug off?
He just said, bug off, one of the most offensive terms used by this species. More often than not, when this phrase is used, epic wars are started. We better head out. Back to you, Cleveland.
This is the last episode of our coffee-loving, crime-solving detective bug, Corva. He solved the case despite all the odds. I can't wait to potentially return to his story. We at the Die Again Podcast love hearing your thoughts, so drop your comments wherever you're tuning in from. Also, don't forget to follow us on X and Threads. Just search for Die Again Podcast, all one word. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a new story. See ya! To Archon family and their goings abouts.
The Akley family.
The Akley family. I'll edit it so that I say it right on but the Akley family.
And then you're going to put that as your outro?
Yeah, definitely.